and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was fun. That was nice.
That was touching. The town of Burlington will be holding the August 21st, 2025 meeting as a remote meeting. The governor issued an executive order on March 12th, 2020, authorizing remote meetings under General Law Code 30A, Section 20, and extended Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, including permitting remote meetings and participation until June 30th, 2027.
Those seeking to attend this remote meeting may do so via the following. The URL is townofburlington.webex.com. Our meeting number is 2332-589-4981, and the meeting password is 1645. You can join the WebEx on your phone at 617-315-0704. Members of the public looking to participate, raise your hand in the WebEx, and staff will send you a request to unmute at the appropriate time. We are being broadcast on the BCAT government channel. You can find that on Comcast channel 99, RCN channel 15, and Verizon channel 41. We're also streamed on Facebook Live via the BCAT government Facebook page.
Great. We'll begin with one item being continued off the agenda for tonight. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Sheriff Rappaport?
Yes.
Natola?
Yes.
Sutherland?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
Great. Item A is a continued public hearing, petition to amend the zoning bylaws, Article 8, Section 8.6.0, MBTA Communities Multifamily Overlay District, submitted by Nordblum Company and its affiliates, NWP Building 34 LLC and NWP Building 35 LLC. May I have a motion?
I would like to make a motion to continue this item to the planning board meeting of September 4th, 2025, as requested by the applicant's attorney in an email dated August 21st, 2025.
Have a second?
Second.
Rappaport?
Yes.
Natola?
Yes.
Sutherland?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
Great.
Motion. Do you want to do 7B too?
Yes.
Motion to take item 7B out of order for discussion purposes.
Rappaport?
Yes.
Natola?
Yes.
Sutherland?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
Great. Item B is a public hearing, petition to amend the zoning bylaws, Article 2, definitions, submitted by the Zoning Bylaw Review Committee.
I would like to make a motion for the planning board to hereby accept this request to withdraw without prejudice as requested by the applicant in an email dated August 12th, 2025.
Second.
Rappaport?
Yes.
Natola?
Yes.
Sutherland?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
Great. Is next moving forward with public participation. Is there anyone in the audience or online who is here to speak on an item that is not currently on our agenda?
I do not see any hands raised. Give it one more second, but I think we are good.
Great. Moving on. We will go to 6A. So 6A is an appointment of the Assistant Director of Planning.
So I just wanted to give say a couple of words, Chair Rappaport. So Caleb has been with us, oh my gosh, for a number of years now, and it's kind of been me and him, and he has learned so much throughout the years, and he's been such an asset to me, our department, the town of Burlington as a whole, and I am just here to recommend that you vote favorably on appointing him to the Assistant Director of Planning position.
I couldn't agree more. May I have a motion?
I would like to make a motion to promote Caleb Zimmerman from Planner 1 Development Coordinator to the Assistant Director of Planning.
Second.
Rappaport?
Yes.
Natola?
Yes.
Sutherland?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
Congratulations, Caleb.
Thank you guys so
Um,
much.
Congratulations,
I really
Caleb.
appreciate it. This has been a great 3 years here. Getting to build on the great work that we've been able to do at the town level, this board, and the department. I want to thank all 7 members of the current board, as well as members Gaffney and Cavino that I got a chance to work with. I want to thank Jen. She's always on these meetings, and you keep our department so well organized. And Liz for everything you've done for me, and will continue to do that. I just really appreciate all the support. So thank you guys.
Thank you. I was so excited to get Caleb promoted that we skipped over announcements. So if you'd like to,
Sure, I'll make some other announcements. Nothing too crazy. Just a reminder that Labor Day is coming up, which does mean it's the end of the summer, and that's on September 1st. And town offices will be closed that Monday. And then just that the next planning board meeting is on that Thursday, September 4th, and then we'll be back into our regular hybrid format with all of us being in the main hearing room.
Great, thank you. Moving on to matters of appointment. Item C is a public hearing amendment for approval of a special permit pursuant to 4.2.6.20 massage therapy of the zoning bylaws, 75 Middlesex Turnpike, also known as the Burlington Mall. Refresh Park LLC is the applicant. Who is here on behalf of the applicant?
Yeah, I sent you a request to unmute. You should see something there.
Oh, yes, me here. Yeah. Hi, we are, I'm the application, my name is Ye Tian. We are already have the location inside the Burlington Mall. We are just right now changing the name, actually. So we are already working inside the mall probably like 3 or 4 years. Right now we are application for like not owner change. We changed from personal name and a company's name.
Great. Liz or Caleb, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I mean, I can add a little bit on that. As the applicant just stated, they're currently operating in the mall. This is just a matter of a business name change and ownership. So this is just when they got a previous special permit from this board, I believe in 2020. The wording requires that if there's a change that they come back to this board. They have submitted the state issued massage therapy licenses. They're all active. There's no complaints on record. So we as staff have no issues.
Sounds pretty straightforward to me. I don't have any objections to this. Does anyone on the board have anything that they'd like to add or have any questions?
My only question would actually just be a comment, just to make sure that if you're going from a sole proprietorship to a registered business, you filed all your paperwork with the state's corporation Secretary of State Department, and that's it. Just to make sure you guys have done that. That's all.
Yes, we already done that.
Great. That being said, we'll make this short and sweet. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to close the public hearing on this matter?
Thank you.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Rappaport,
Yes.
Natola,
Yes.
Sutherland,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
all set.
Motion to approve the request of, wait, do I have the right one? Yes. Refresh Park LLC for special permit pursuant to section 4.2.6.20 massage therapy of the zoning bylaws for a change in business ownership of an existing therapeutic massage business in an existing tenant space for property located in the mixed use innovation district, as well as the Aquifer overlay district at 75 Middlesex Turnpike, subject to the terms and conditions contained in Exhibit A attached.
You have a second?
Second.
Rappaport,
Yes.
Natola,
Yes.
Sutherland,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
Great. Well, thank you, folks. Have a great evening.
you.
You're welcome. Moving forward, may I have a motion?
Motion to take items 7D, 7E, and 7F together.
Second.
Rappaport,
Yes.
Natola,
Yes.
Sutherland,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
Great. Item D is a public hearing, application for approval of a special permit pursuant to 4.2.6.10, restaurants, fast food order and takeout of the zoning bylaws, 5 Burlington Mall Road, aka 75 Middlesex Turnpike, the Village at the Burlington Mall. HDR Holdings LLC, doing business as Wonder, is the applicant. Item E is a public hearing, application for approval of a special permit pursuant to 6.1.2.2, non-conforming structures and premises of the zoning bylaws, 5 Burlington Mall Road, aka 75 Middlesex Turnpike. HDR Holdings LLC, doing business as Wonder, is the applicant. Item F is a public hearing, application for approval of special permit pursuant to 14.8, design waivers on alternative compliance and special permit criteria of the zoning bylaws, 75 Middlesex Turnpike. HDR Holdings LLC, doing business as Wonder, is the applicant. Good evening, folks. Who's here on behalf of this item?
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. For the record, Attorney Mark Vaughn with Reamer and Bronstein here tonight representing the applicant. Also with me is Jason Botcher, who is representative of the Wonder team. He's on here as well. So, and we have Sarah Eba, who is with VHB as well, if there's any questions. But very pleased to be before you tonight. We had a brief presentation, just if we could, Madam Chair, and just to kind of introduce the concept to you in terms of the new fast order food establishment that is planned at the portion of the Burlington Mall property that I still call the former Sears Tire, Battery, and Auto building that was rehabbed several years ago, if you recall. But just if you go to the next slide there, Caleb, that'd be great. But so Wonder is a fast order food establishment that is looking to open up here in Burlington. They have many locations currently throughout mostly the eastern seaboard area, as you can see from the restaurants that are noted on there in the different states. They don't have any locations yet that are opened in Massachusetts, and they're very excited about the opportunity to open here in Burlington as they look to roll out restaurants in Massachusetts over the next year. So they are a interesting concept in that they partner with many of the nation's top chefs and iconic restaurant brands from across the country, and they're able to utilize those recipes and offer those food offerings all under one roof. It's one centralized kitchen area. So this particular facility is going to be about 3,600 square feet in size. It's currently vacant space, and in a moment I'll show you the plan. But you know, what they basically do is they establish partnerships with those chefs and are able to offer those signature dishes all at one location. So very appealing for folks that are looking to be able to feed a family that can have all those different offerings, you know, all under one roof. So just on the next slide, they have their own app that for folks that are looking to be able to order by way of their phone, if they're not looking to dine in and they're doing takeout or something. They do have an app that allows them to access the menus of the different restaurants, of the different brands that are being offered. That middle photo is meant to show you kind of just the architectural improvement or the facade enhancements that will be made to the corner of this building as well. So next slide, Caleb. Thank you. So this is obviously the mall property that you're familiar with. This is the Village at Burlington Mall building. The space outlined in red is the location where Wonder would be operating from. It's all existing building square footage that's there today, so there's no additional square footage that's being built. And this is the rear portion of that building, if you're familiar with that site. So the front of the building is where you would see Sweet Green and Cafe Nero. So we're not locating on that side of the building. It's on the rear portion, and there's an ample parking lot that's back there. I think there's upwards of 50 plus spaces that are back there. So kind of an ideal spot for them to locate. Plus, they have the proximity of the main parking lot as well for the Burlington Mall with a pedestrian sidewalk for folks to be able to walk over to. Again, the space would be about 3,675 square feet in size. This is just the zoning map that kind of shows the overall Burlington Mall property. So I'm going to maybe turn it over to Jason Botcher. He can address a little bit about their floor plan and answer any questions you might have. But Jason, do you want to jump in?
Sure. Thank you, Mark, and thank you to the board for taking the time tonight. I heard some of you are out on the Cape trying to get away, and here you are. But really appreciate the time. Very excited to be here. Mark stole most of my thunder, to be quite honest. I usually really enjoy selling what we're doing, but I think he hit on all the main points. What we're doing is I would say relatively unique at our approach to the business. Like Mark had mentioned, we partner with top chefs and restaurants from across the country. Bobby Flay, names that you know, Bobby Flay, Marcus Samuelson, Michael Simon, and best-in-class restaurants across any number of cuisines. And when we partner with them, we essentially have the access to reproduce their recipes and their cuisines in our kitchens using our production techniques, which allows us to provide any number of partners out of a single retail or restaurant location. And so what we're looking to do here in Burlington is to utilize this space. We would be the first tenant in this space to give us the opportunity to break into this market here. So like Mark had mentioned, we're at about 3,600, 3,700 square feet. Front of house is about 850 some odd square feet plus minus, with seating for 15 patrons inside. We are also proposing an outdoor patio for an additional 20 during the warmer months, for a total of 35 through about half of the year. The front of house, if there is a rendering on the previous slide, if you don't mind. The front of house is really meant and designed to be very welcoming and warm to our customers. And so a lot of detail and a lot of care goes into that design, the finishes, the fixtures, the millwork, all of it. And it's really meant to be a space that a customer wants to walk into and sit down and dine. Obviously, like any restaurant these days, you're in order to survive, you need to provide additional amenities. And with that, we also provide pickup and dine-in amenities. And that's a big focus is we're trying to touch all of the bases and hit all of the expectations for our customers. And so if you want to go down to slide 9, these are representative photos of sites that we do have open and in operation, and that is really just meant to highlight our design. We do strive to be consistent across all of our locations. And I think this kind of illustrates the feel that we're going for, and this will be consistent with what you would see here in Burlington. The next slide, slide 10, is just illustrative or examples of our signage. We are actually going through a bit of a signage change in terms of our logo. I've been with the company now for 4 years, so I've been through quite a few of these. But this is just really meant to illustrate that we can work with any situation and any type of location that we have to provide consistent signage. Generally, we do design that signage to be compliant with local ordinances, and that would be the case here as well. So that location on the left is one of our New York City locations, and then you see Ardmore and one of our inline locations in Connecticut. Like Mark had mentioned, we are primarily a New York tri-state area focused company. That's where we were founded. Don't hold that against me, please. And we have expanded now and opening locations in Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., and we're finally getting to the point where we're able to break into the Boston region, which is great. We expect to open 4 to 5 by the end of the year. And then approximately plus or minus 10 to 12 additional in 2025. So very, very excited to be breaking into the market up there. And so just I will touch on some of the operational details. At this point, we are primarily lunch and dinner service. We're open from 10:30 to 10 p.m. That'll vary in urban locations, but for nice suburban locations like this, it's pretty predictable. And our service area as it relates to delivery is usually a 12 to 15 minute ride or drive time. So we like to keep our service area pretty tight when it comes to delivery. And that's namely because food quality is incredibly important to us. And anybody that orders delivery on a regular basis knows that food quality is absolutely correlated with food temperature. So we like to keep it pretty tight because we want to make sure that you're getting a hot product that everybody can enjoy. So that's really the high level of what we're trying to do. Like I said, very excited to be here and really happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Great, thank you. Caleb or Liz, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
I pulled up the floor plan here. Similar to what Jason said, Mark stole a lot of my thunder and talking points. So it's in this space that currently does not have a tenant. There is a grease trap already fitted for this user. That will make this move-in probably a lot more simple. There is adequate parking within the site by our zoning bylaws. There is this outdoor patio space that has the 20 seats. And there is, if you can see here, kind of these rectangles along the side. These are planter bollards that I know the board oftentimes sees around outdoor seating spaces. And that's something that's been added in and approved with our traffic safety officer. So that's something that we look for and we're glad to see on this floor plan. And I think really the only other question that we had right now was, you mentioned the kind of third-party deliveries. If those are coming in, what's the plan? Do you have any designated spaces for them?
Yeah, that's a common question we get at most locations, and I think you've probably heard this from numerous other applicants in terms of negotiations and lease negotiations. We never get dedicated parking stalls, but like Markin mentioned, we have a rather large parking field on our side of the building, so that would be more than suitable for our operation.
Okay. Liz, is there anything else that I didn't touch on?
That seems about it. I don't have anything else to add.
Okay, then we are all good.
Okay. Great, thank you. I just do want to make note that this is a special permit, so all 5 members would need to approve if this is moved forward to a vote this evening. Otherwise, we should hold off, if somebody feels the need for other members to be present. Are you having any heating lamps outside on the patio?
That hasn't been discussed specifically, but I would imagine that we would introduce heating lamps if we're going to have a patio open during the colder months. But generally, any location that we do have a patio, we do keep that restricted to the warmer months when a heating lamp would not necessarily be required.
Okay. And then are your bathrooms, are they universal or is it, a male, female bathroom?
They are both ADA accessible restrooms. I don't know if they are unisex or one designated male, one designated female, but I can confirm that for you. Whichever it is, it's going to be consistent with the UCC requirements.
Got it. Okay. I don't have any further questions. Is there anyone on the board that has any questions, comments, concerns?
I have just a couple of quick questions.
Sure.
So looking at this space, it's about 1/3 of the width of that quadrant of the building. Do we know if anything else is going in there? And will with the 35 seats, you're going to need 12 parking spaces, but only 5 parking spaces in the wintertime. How many employees are currently work on the average shift? Because that goes into the parking as well. And then, Mark, I don't know if you can answer the question about who do you think is going to go in eventually next to them.
Yeah, no, I could actually. There are some tenants there. If I could, Madam Chair, address the initial comment, and I can let Jason answer the question about the employees.
Please
But
do.
there are a couple of tenants that are back there now. Remember, Ryan, you've got they're kind of like personal services establishments. It's a Stretch Lab, which is not sure exactly what they do, but I think they stretch out your body if you've got tight muscles or whatnot. And then a place called Sweat House, which offers like cold plunges and vitamin C baths, neither of which I've utilized. But and then I think Leahy has a weight loss clinic on the other corner. So they're not necessarily high intensity uses, more in the, this would be the only restaurant use that's back there, which is, you know, why I think they're comfortable with the parking. So, but Jason, do you want to maybe touch upon the employees?
Yeah, sure. So our peak dinner shift during our busiest days, the most that we would have on site would be 13. That would include one front of house ambassador who really serves as the face of the location. But 13 would be our peak during dinner service.
Okay. All right. So that's fine. I don't, that just, you know, quantifies everything that I'm looking for. The next question I have is, currently on your website, you've got 58 locations.
Correct.
You've got 41 slated to open in the next 90 days. You know,
Yes.
that's a 71% increase in 90 days. 4 of them. Yeah, you told me you wanted to break into Massachusetts. You've already got Natick and Framingham and Belmont and Acton up here. Are they already approved?
So those were all as of right locations that didn't require any board approvals. So they are under construction. We're moving towards getting them open, I believe in October, but don't quote me on that, please.
Well, the website says November.
Okay.
So I guess my question is, with such a huge increase in business and footprint over the course of the next 90 days, do you foresee any slippage in the timeline to get these opened? And if we approve this, when do you think this would open? And do you foresee any slippage in that timeline?
I will say I've been with the company now for 4 years, and it was a very different company when I joined. We had a very different model. We only shifted to brick and mortar about 24 months ago. And since then, we've gotten 58 open, and we will be at about 100 by the end of the year. And it just increases from there. So to answer your question, slippage is not something that's accepted internally. So we move very, very fast. So as soon as we could get hammer swinging in this location, we will have hammer swinging.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
It's a very it's a great place to work. We're very busy.
I mean, the concept is really kind of cool. It's got to be a pain keeping your refrigerators filled with fresh stuff from such a varied product line.
Yeah. I feel for our culinary engineering team, that's for sure. And I really feel for our construction team.
Great. Thank you. Is there anyone else on the board that has any questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah. So, hello.
I have a few, Jeremy.
Sure. I just have a couple questions and comments. First of all, I spent a bunch of years in the restaurant industry, running restaurants, opening restaurants. That is quite ambitious. Good luck in your ambitions and your growth. That is quite a task. But you know, looking at your website, seeing the renderings of the interior, clearly there's a reliance on takeout and delivery. The website even says in the tri-state area, you average 35 minutes per delivery. So you mentioned there's plenty of parking. I agree. There's a lot of parking on that side. Do you have a rough directional estimate on how many dinners you're serving a night, and probably how many of those are walking out the door as opposed to being consumed in the restaurant? Because I mean, this mall gets busy, this area gets busy, 13 staff, you are cranking out a lot of food to be able to support that. And there's not a lot of seats there. So in my mind, I envision quite a bit of movement in the area.
Yeah, so I'm happy to answer those questions. So on an average, let's call it an average week, what we would expect out of a location of this size in the suburbs would be about between the hours of 3 and 9, approximately 150 or so orders. And that would be split relatively evenly between delivery and then takeout and dine in. So obviously, yes, you're well aware of the fact that delivery and takeout or pickup is a big part of our business. We expect approximately 10% of our customers to dine in. And given this location with the mall right there, we would expect a decent amount of pass-through traffic.
Okay, thank you. That helps put a frame around it.
Absolutely.
A few questions. So it sounds like your peak hours are dinner time.
Yes.
What does it typically look like for lunchtime? I see you open at 10. What would you say your meals look like from, I'd say, 11 to 2?
Roughly, I don't track our lunch orders nearly as detailed as I do our dinner orders. Roughly about a third of what you would see during dinner. This is a great location because you have some relatively new residential development right down the road, and you have a decent amount of office space nearby as well. So I think we'll do well for lunch here, but about a third of the total for an average day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the concept is fantastic. I'm excited about that. However, I disagree with the parking because I mean I frequent a Sweet Green in particular for lunch, and um, you can't find a parking spot in that entire area. Not to mention you have delivery drivers who are consistently parking in the handicap spots or parking in the spots that are marked as no parking. You have delivery trucks and cars parking along that pathway where your patio would be, which makes it very difficult to get in and out. Obviously that peak is really occurring more so around lunchtime, and I agree. I think you actually would do quite well for lunch because you do have a lot of people that are walking over there. And I mean, I often have to park well across the way to get anything. You also have directly back there Safety Town, which is where you have kids and families that will ride their bikes, hang out there. So I do have significant concern about this space becoming the Woburn Mall, this particular spot, because although, yes, there is seemingly enough parking based on number of seats, I foresee pretty awful traffic jams occurring in there and safety concerns with the amount of people walking around. So I think I'd love to understand a little bit better of your anticipation of how you think lunch would differ here. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was even there today. I am very stressed about this area and adding another one that people are frequently in and out, in and out, in and out. So as of right now, I have a lot of hesitations. I'm not going to lie about this, but the problem is I think this concept's amazing. I think it provides some uniqueness, which is certainly what we would need for that area since there are so many restaurants in that area. But I'm going to be honest at this point, I don't feel entirely comfortable with that location and seeing this there.
So if you don't mind, I can touch on a few additional points that I think would make you more comfortable. So about a year and a half to 2 years ago, about a year ago, we bought a company called Relay. Relay was a third-party delivery company out of New York City, and we bought them really because of their approach to third-party delivery and their tech. And so the way we leverage Relay is they handle the orders that are placed through the Wonder app, and about 75% of our orders come from the Wonder app as opposed to third-party delivery, and that allows us to provide direct messaging to couriers, informational messaging about where they can and cannot go or should and should not go rather in terms of queuing, because we don't want couriers queuing on site. We understand, and we've had the experience over the last 2 years to understand what residential concerns are in urban environments, and then traffic concerns in more suburban environments. Beyond that, we also have means of mitigating how many couriers are on a site at any given time. So one of the ways that we mitigate that, your concern specifically, is delayed dispatching to couriers, so that if an order comes in at 7:07 and it's accepted, it's not automatically sent out for a courier to be dispatched to the site. We can delay that dispatch so that they're getting there more closely aligned with when that order is actually going to be ready for pickup. That's going to severely reduce how much time they're spending on site. And then beyond that, we can also limit the amount of couriers that can be dispatched to a site at any given time. And so that's for about 75% of our orders. And what we find is that that goes a long way in mitigating the very concerns that you actually have.
And that's helpful. I think that's great to hear. I think for me to, though, be comfortable, I would need to understand if there can be a check-in at a certain point of there being issues and figuring out how to better mitigate it. I don't know if, granted, I know it would be Simon, not necessarily you, putting up signs along that driveway that says, no standing at any time. I don't know what needs to be done, but right now, without anything in that space, it is a massive, consistent issue, even in the summer when you don't have snow, and you don't have all those issues. So I think for me, I would need some level of check-in of the parking and traffic situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason why we can't have that conversation with Simon to add no standing signs for sure. Well,
if I could, Jess, are you talking about kind of no idling, standing of trucks or anything that are on that access drive?
Trucks, cars, yeah, because the delivery drivers, the trucks love to hang out there when people already illegally took up the handicap spot.
Yeah. To some degree, I'm wondering whether that's happening there because the space is vacant and they just figure that just no one going to be, walking at that corner. So
they're doing that because the parking in the back is all full. Because I even regularly will go back there to try to find parking, and it's during the lunch hour.
Yeah. I think the answer to your question is yeah, we can work with Simon to have signage put up to address that and properly enforce it. I mean, the other thing I would add is that there is a large parking field that's on kind of the other side that is accessed through a raised pedestrian crosswalk. And, I think that parking field, I'm talking about the parking field that's in front of like where Shake Shack and Pepe's and that whole area there, which, does provide, overflow parking as well. And certainly that's where, we're not going to have any employees that are parking and taking up the prime spaces in and around this particular building. They would be, required to park on the outskirts. But, and I guess the only other thing I would add is that I think this location being at the mall, and I think one of the attractions of this site for Jason and the Wonder Team is the complementary kind of aspect of it, which is that folks that might be shopping at Nordstrom or any place in the mall, I mean, they not making multiple trips, they'd be able to just walk over and grab food to bring home for dinner type of thing without having to drive over there as well. So I think it's one of the advantages of a location like this.
Yeah, no, I agree. But the problem I'm having is, I mean, this business model is dependent on couriers. And so without a doubt, you're going to have an increased level of couriers, and they're not people who are necessarily shopping at the mall.
Yeah, I would agree with the couriers. Yeah, that argument isn't a valid one. But I think for the reasons Jason mentioned, I think they have it down to a science in terms of making sure that it's not all coming at one particular time.
Yeah, and with that, if you don't mind, Mark, I would like to reemphasize that we do in these types of environments expect a split, a 50% split in terms of order versus pickup or dine-in. And so, in terms of your courier issues, we're obviously able to mitigate 75% of that 50% split in terms of total orders. Which is a significant portion of the couriers that would be coming on site for our purposes.
Okay, so
So-
and I guess like,
I'm
I
sorry,
guess
go ahead.
sorry, Brenda. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it sounds like, a conversation needs to be had with Simon in order for Jess to feel comfortable and to address the concerns. So I think, based on Jess's feedback, maybe you can have that conversation with Simon and come back to our next meeting with where the signage would be. And Jess, if there's anything else that you wanted to add to make sure that your concerns are addressed, and hopefully you'll have a different position, because I don't think
Yeah.
that we're not going to solve this problem right now without you having that conversation and making sure that we're going to get the appropriate signage and such.
Yeah, and I think to understand what mitigation options are if there is a pretty significant increase or impact to the traffic there.
So I'd like to just ask a question because I deal with delivery every day in my work life, and we do deal with gig drivers for some things. And does your relay tech have proximity basis in it? Because one of the things we found that we had to that proximity basis drives is that delivery drivers will hover. They will wait outside of your store waiting to get pinged. And that causes a lot more of the jam up, Jess, that you're mentioning than the actual pickup. It's the hovering. So, putting proximity into the tech so they can't get pinged until they're within a half mile allows them to stop jamming up there, keeps them out of the parking lot. It does. I mean, they do stay in the general area, but if their delivery drivers are picking up stuff elsewhere, it keeps a better flow. So I don't know if you have any tech along the proximity line, or is it just you're waiting to ping them closer to the actual pickup?
Yeah, so we do have geolocation associated with the courier app. And again, just to flesh that out a little more, the way that tech works is it's a reservation-based platform for the couriers who are our independent contractors. And there's only a set amount of reservation slots available for couriers, and that's based upon projected order volume for any given hour block. So a courier could reserve for numerous hour blocks in a row, but for any hour block, that reservation number is going to be restricted based on projections, and it will flex up and down depending on what those projections are. But like I mentioned earlier, we can also limit how many couriers are called to the site at any given location or at any given time, and can also delay that dispatch so that it is not timed with the order. With the order coming in, there would be a separate process put in place where a courier is dispatched 5 minutes after an order is received, or 10 minutes after an order is received, again, to better time that courier arriving when it is actually ready for pickup, subsequently reducing the amount of time that they have to spend on site. Ideally, we don't want a courier on site for more than 90 to 120 seconds.
Can I just add one thing? I do think where Jess is saying on the other side, the traffic builds up, but I often go to the side where this is going from, and especially where the Shake Shack and the Hallmark and everything, there's plenty of parking. I've never been there at lunch that I can't even get actually a front row spot over there. So even if the couriers ever had to wait over there till it was ready, there's plenty of parking throughout that whole area where there's a sub shop there that I've been in. There's the other place. Never had a problem with parking on that side. But I think the side where Jess is talking, more of the front side, I think the problem is more on that side than on the side where this is going. And I've
Yeah,
been there
you know,
at lunch.
there is obviously a whole lot of parking available here.
There's a ton
Um,
of parking on that side right there.
And when it comes to that informational messaging that we can put out to our couriers, including Grubhub couriers for that matter, we can indicate that they are not, that they're requested not to queue or to wait any significant amount of time on the property or around the building where we're located, and they can be to a certain extent directed to one of the open parking fields if necessary. So yeah, I
Okay.
did fail to mention that we did purchase Grubhub earlier this year. So they're being integrated into the company as a whole. And so the same degree of mitigation that we can offer through the Wonder app will also be able to be afforded through Grubhub as well.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else beyond the parking and, courier issues that we would like to discuss or have the applicant review with us?
No,
Okay.
I love the concept though.
Yeah, it does seem like a really cool concept. I'm excited. I'm excited to try it out myself. Okay. That being said,
I just have
um,
one thing to Jess's point,
mhm.
and that is having it as a requirement for the employees to park across the street, so that we don't run into. I mean, it's a 100-foot walk, but we could have the employees park in that other parking lot, which is other than Christmas is empty, is more empty than full.
Because it's always empty at lunchtime.
Okay. Mark, I think
Other than
once
that-
you have that conversation with Simon, if you could just, connect with professional staff, and that way, if they can connect with us before the next meeting, just to make sure that we've kind of checked all the boxes of the board's concerns. I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Is
Mark,
there anything?
we'll reach out to you early next week and we'll set up a time for like a call and kind of
Sure.
go from there.
Yeah, no, I feel confident that we can address that, and I think we can kind of memorialize some of these other components as it relates to, making sure that the area is proper monitoring of the parking to make you comfortable. So,
Great. Thank you. I appreciate that. That being said, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the public that has any questions, concerns, comments? That being said, may I have a motion?
Motion to continue this matter to the planning board meeting of September 4th, 2025.
May I have a
Second.
second?
Second,
Rappaport,
Yes.
Natola,
Yes.
Sutherland,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Harrington.
yes.
Great. Well, thank you very much, folks. Have a good evening, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
great. Thank you very much for your
Appreciate it.
time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. That is it for our agenda. Is there anything that any board member has that they would like to discuss, present, or provide a motion?
I just wanted to ask one question.
Sure.
Liz, you were checking on about the charging stations out in there. Did we find out about the screening at all?
So Caleb and I have been working, there's a concern about screening for the charging stations at Shaw's. And so they don't have their certificate of occupancy yet. So Caleb has reached out and we're involved the building department as well. But it's an ongoing matter and we are confident that we can get it resolved. So
Yep.
Caleb,
As
I
I
don't know if
say,
you have anything else.
No, I think we're working with the building department because it's through them the build out of the stations itself is a building permit, so they're aware. we're talking to the new building inspector about this. As of the many things that are on his plate, he is aware this is one of them.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else from anyone? May I have a motion?
Motion to
make a-
adjourn the meeting.
Second,
Rappaport,
Yes.
Natola,
Yes.
Sutherland,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Arrington.
yes.
Thank you very much, folks. Have a wonderful evening.
You too.
Night.